So, welcome to part two for the buyer. Congratulations, you've made an offer and it's been accepted. So, I'm going to talk about what we're going to do next. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to get together with your realtor and talk about the transaction calendar. So, you're going to set the date for the closing, and then you're going to make appointments for things like the inspection and appraisal and things like that. That'll give you a better timeline of what to expect. So, when you need to do other things like set up your mover, or if you haven't done so already, if you own a home, you're going to want to go ahead and list that so you can get out from under that one and to your new. Next, you're going to complete your mortgage application and submit that to your lender. That's usually what takes the longest because they are going to have to do a lot of processing and research on your financial history and your capabilities and things like that. So there's a lot that's going to go back and forth between you and the lender during this period of time. But all of that information and all of that counseling will be handled directly with your lender, which is why I told you in part one to speak to a human and kind of start to form that relationship so you'll have a better line of communication with your financier or loan officer. As a buyer, one thing you're going to want to do is get an inspection, like 99% of the time. If it's a brand new home or new construction or only a year or two old and it's still under the original construction or builder's warranty, it may be something that you can consider maybe waiving that inspection, but for the most part, you're going to want to get an inspection. As the buyer, you're allowed to choose your own inspector. You can use someone you've used in the past, a personal acquaintance or a colleague, or you can use your realtor to get some names of companies or inspectors to do that inspection for you. Once the inspection is over with, you can move on to the appraisal. If you're doing any sort of financing for your home purchase, the lender will require that you do an appraisal. Once the appraisal comes back, they'll review with you all the details of it, and then you can work with your realtor, me again, to discuss if you want to do any kind of renegotiation with the sellers. There will be times when the appraised value will come in just a little under, or sometimes a lot under, the offered sales price. In those cases, sometimes the seller will be a little bit more flexible and they'll offer to reduce the price to what the appraised value is. But sometimes, due to the market and demand, people are willing to pay over what the appraised value is. So you may need to supplement your mortgage with a little higher down payment to make sure that you get to that level of that agreed upon sale price. For the appraisal, that's something that you're going to review with the lender, not your realtor. They're going to go through the assessed value of the home and how that aligns with the purchase price. There may need to be some negotiations there. If it doesn't appraise for the full sales price, you may have to work with your seller on either you contributing that difference or they may be willing to lower the price of the home a little bit. It's a little different with each transaction, so that's something that you're going to work with the lender, your realtor, and the seller together. Once the inspections and the appraisals are complete, that's when you can go ahead and move forward, make sure all those issues are agreed upon, how you're going to deal with those with both the buyer and the seller, and you can remove all the contingencies and move forward. This is when you're going to go into escrow. Sure. If you've ever seen TV shows or whatever, whenever somebody's buying a house, they're always like, we can't do that, we're in escrow. Escrow is just really the final steps of the process. It's when all of the financing, papers, all of that kind of stuff is provided by both the sellers and the buyers, and it goes to third-party title agency. They collect all the documents, make sure everything is in line, make sure they have everything from both lenders, the buyers, and then the sellers' mortgage information if they're paying off a loan. All of that fun stuff, that big stack of papers that you're going to sign is going to go to the title agency. They're going to make sure everything is taken care of and in hand before you move to the closing, which is the big day when you go in to sign all those papers, money changes hands, keys change hands, and you actually have an